वेलकम बैक टू होराइजन फॉरबिडन वेस्ट। और प्रीवियस पार्ट में हम लोग ने जो क्वेन का आइलैंड है वो एक्सप्लोर किया। आई थिंक आइलैंड ऑफ स्पायर्स बोलते हैं उसे। तो इस पार्ट में मेरे को टेस्ट करना था एक्चुअली, सनलाइट आ कहाँ से? ओ सनलाइट नहीं है ये ओके। तो इस पार्ट में आई थिंक हम हमारे कंपेनियन से बात करता है, बिकॉज सबके सिर पे
The right strategy. Well, forget it. The man is unbeatable at machine struck.
Who is?
His people invented the game. What did you expect?
Kotalo can't win every time. Try to be optimistic. Try to be realistic. We're terrible.
ओह कोटालो, सबके सर पे एक्सक्लेमेशन मार्क दिख रहा है। तो आई थिंक इट्स बेटर कि हम लोग सबसे बात
Looks like
करके आए।
someone's made this space their own.
When?
I see you found Varl and Zoe's room,
Oh.
Aloy. I believe they wanted private accommodations.
I see.
बेटा नहीं है लेकिन आई थिंक वो व्हाट ओके, मेटल फ्लावर किसने लाया? बेटा नहीं है नीचे। दैट्स व्हाट स्ट्रेंज।
I don't think that door had power before, but looks like it's malfunctioning.
यहाँ पे है बेटा, बट हम लोग नहीं जा सकते। दैट्स स्ट्रेंज। और ये वाले डोर पे यहाँ पे क्या है? गाया?
Looks like some kind of maintenance space.
Okay. Some goodies. Oh.
I wonder where this leads.
Wait, बेस के अंदर भी सीक्रेट्स है। इंटरेस्टिंग।
Power cells?
व्हाट? वेट, क्या है यहाँ पे? ओके, दिस इज समथिंग न्यू। नीचे ओके, पावर सेल्स डालना है। लेट्स सी। ये पता नहीं था मेरे को। दिस इज समथिंग न्यू। चलो।
The door won't open. But maybe if it had power.
वेट, कहाँ से आए हम लोग? बेटा का रूम है ये तो। ओके, इंटरेस्टिंग। चलो, आई थिंक हम लोग
I just don't get this last part.
Maybe we can look at it together later. Have a conversation about it.
I'd like that.
I think we can start with Zoe. Hello, Zoe. Oh, sorry, Alva, not
Door,
Zoe.
I see.
There's
Confused.
just so much. I mean, we knew of artificial beings that served the ancestors, but Gaia? Oh, she's amazing! And you, a true reincarnation of an ancestor. Genetically speaking, of course, not like the, late CO. And there's more ancestors out there, returned from beyond the stars. Of course, they're trying to kill us, which is not great. And Eric Visser is with them, which is disturbing. And then there's Hephaestus, and
Okay. How about we take it one step at a time?
you're right. I also owe you an explanation for everything that happened at Landfall.
ओके, एरिक विसर, इसका नाम हम लोग ने डेटा पॉइंट में देखा था। हैदराबाद में एक्सट्रैक्शन मिशन था, उसमें पार्ट लिया था। ओके, एरिक विसर सेम एरिक है वो जो विस्टा पॉइंट के इधर डेटा पॉइंट था। एनीवे कंपेनियंस के बारे में पूछते हैं पहले।
I imagine you don't know anyone here that well yet, but they're a good group.
It's funny because one of your friends is, well, another you. Not that you are the same person at all. I mean, you are, as in, you're both genetically Elizabeth Sobek, but even so, you're different.
Yeah, we are.
बेटा इतनी एडवेंचरस नहीं है।
I hope everyone's been treating you okay.
Oh, yeah, of course. They've all been extremely welcoming. And they share the knowledge they learn on their focuses with each other freely. It's refreshing. Back home, diviners can only share data with the permission from the overseers.
Sounds restrictive and stifling.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
I mean, दोनों ही बुरी चीज़ है। रेस्ट्रिक्शन होना चाहिए इंफॉर्मेशन का, बट इतना भी नहीं जितना क्वेन करता है।
Anything new around here?
Kotalo showed me the schematics for his new arm. I recall reading about robotic limbs within the Legacy, but I never thought I'd see one in action. Technology like that would be treasured back home. Think of what it could do for injured workers or soldiers. But knowing the Imperial family, they would use it for different purposes. Their own.
Replacing body parts as they grow older. Like the Zeniths.
Exactly.
अगर चल नहीं पाए तो प्रोस्थेटिक लेग्स लगा लो, वैसा टाइप। ट्रेनिंग क्या कर रही है ये?
I see you've been using your new focus.
It's been fascinating. So much better than the version the Quen have. What would have taken me years to sort through, like the database you helped me recover, with this, I've been able to establish search parameters to speed up the process. This could revolutionize how diviners analyze the Legacy. That is, whatever part of it the overseers would actually let us study.
नॉलेज बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है इसको। ओके, ट्रेनिंग माने फोकस की ट्रेनिंग। ओके, करेक्ट।
You wanted data, you'll find lots of it here.
A diviner has never had this sort of unsupervised access to archives such as this. And knowing you, I suspect there is much that would normally be forbidden held within them. But I was sent here to help you. I would be remiss to ignore any truth laid before me. Maybe it'll help the Quen find their way back to the path of truth.
Maybe. जीनत तो इसको fascinating रहेंगे, immortality especially.
You mentioned Eric Visser. How do you know about him?
The Zenith who tried to kill you? He is known to the Quen as the Protector. Combing through data related to his work led us to breakthroughs related to weapons and military tactics. Knowledge our rulers used to conquer and expand, to become the empire we are today. That's why he's one of our most revered ancestors. But based on your encounter with him, it appears he's even more ruthless than we ever imagined. Yet another distorted interpretation in the Legacy.
Well, at least you're piecing together the truth.
If only the overseers back home would do the same.
Beta mentioned other Zeniths. Tilda, Verbena, and Gerard.
I'm afraid I don't know anything about them. Whatever legacy they left behind, the diviners haven't recovered.
Wait, Verbena वही जीनत थी ना जिसकी शील्ड डिसेबल हो गई? हाँ, आई थिंक वर्बेना वही थी। वर्बेना इज नो मोर। टिल्डा और दूसरा कौन सा था? जेरार्ड का तो पता नहीं। जेरार्ड आई थिंक लीडर है उनका। टिल्डा पता नहीं कौन है। टिल्डा और बीटा से ही पूछना होगा आई थिंक, टिल्डा के बारे में वापस, और क्वेन के बारे में पूछता है। ओह, forbidden knowledge.
Back at the greenhouse, you spoke of knowledge forbidden to your people.
Diviners are meant to seek out the truth in the legacy. and many Imperials sponsor them in the hopes they'll find something the Empire can put to use, thus gaining favor with the Emperor. But the Board of Overseers claims certain truths are detrimental to the stability of the Empire, like discovering one of our revered ancestors ended the world. That is why diviners are only allowed to access segments of the legacy. Only Overseers can view it all. It ensures that any heretical data can be contained and retrieved before it can spread.
What happens to diviners who break the rules?
I never had the courage to ask.
डेथ और क्या होगा? The CEO या CEO.
You said you owed me an explanation for what happened in Thebes. I'm listening.
Right. I'll start at the beginning with the CEO. He was an Imperial, the Emperor's nephew, in fact. As such, he sponsored many diviners to search the legacy for anything that might help the tribe, and himself. He took a special interest in anything related to Ted Faro, whom we considered the greatest of the ancestors.
Ted Faro, revered ancestor. That's tough to take.
I know better now, of course. Anyway, the diviners discovered that Faro spent a great deal of time in San Francisco. In fact, many of the most important ancestors did. So the Emperor's nephew convinced him that an expedition across the ocean might solve our most pressing problems. If only we could find the right data in this fabled city. Perhaps we could roll back the floods and storms that threatened our people. The Emperor declared that all the tribe's resources be poured into this endeavor. Dozens of ships were built, scouting missions were dispatched, and the Emperor's nephew was named Sio, one who wields the legacy for the good of the Empire, the living embodiment of Ted Faro, the Renewer. It may seem strange now, but for a time, he carried all of our hopes. We really believed he would save us. We had no idea just how perilous the journey would be.
ओके, हेडीज के वजह से नहीं, हेडीज नहीं, सॉरी, गाया मिसिंग थी ना गाया, तो उसकी वजह से स्टॉर्म्स और वेदर्स ये हो रहा है. वी ओनली हैव फ्यू मंथ्स टाइम, राइट? जब परमानेंट डैमेज हो जाएगा अकॉर्डिंग टू गाया. खैर, एक्सपेडिशन के बारे में पूछते हैं.
You said the expedition across the sea was more dangerous than you thought it would be. What happened?
We lost most of our ships to hurricanes, and scores of soldiers perished to hunger and disease. And that was before we even hit the coast. Once we landed, machines ripped our patrols apart, and we struggled to replenish our rations. There were bright spots, to be sure. We found Thebes and the greenhouse. But nothing improved the CEO's mood as his dreams of saving the tribe were slowly dashed. He became more and more obsessed with Thebes and what lay behind its door. And more convinced that the title of CEO was no mere honorific. You heard him, spouting nonsense about Pharaoh's essence and some kind of becoming. We knew these weren't the words of a sane man, but he was quick to put any who spoke out in front of a firing squad.
What a great guy.
The Quen are wrong about many things when it comes to the legacy. I can see that now. But what the CEO became was a complete perversion of what principal diviners stand for. The pursuit of truth. I'm sorry you had to endure his madness. I'm just glad it's over. For everyone.
लेकिन एल्वा चेंज कर पाएगी क्वेन को even after learning the truth? Personally, I don't think so. बोहाई maybe. दोनों साथ में काम करेंगे तो.
So, Bohai, your overseer. Will he run things better than CEO?
He won't execute people on a whim, if that's what you mean. But he's hardly a paragon of integrity. I can't tell you how many times he took credit for data in the legacy that I uncovered. The best thing I can say about him is that he can be trusted to always do what's best for him.
Yep, sounds about right.
ओके, एंसेस्टर्स के बारे में पूछते हैं.
The ancestors. Is that what your people call the old ones?
Yes and no. The ancestors are the greatest of the old ones. Those whose legacy taught us agriculture, medicine, warfare, leadership, and patronage of the science and arts.
The CEO called Elizabeth Sobek an assistant. What's that about?
Right. Well, any old one who has made minor contributions or worked extensively under one of the ancestors is called an assistant. That's how we thought of Sobek, until we met you. Our limited access to data past the late 2040s has obviously misinformed our view of the past.
ओके और अब इसके फैमिली के बारे में पूछ रहा है.
You mentioned the reason you came here was to help your family. Your sister...
Her name is Alika. Our parents are commoners, peasants, really. When I passed the divination exams, they were so proud. It brought honor to our family and increased rations. Only Alika begged me not to leave for the research academy.
Why? What happens there?
Alika knew that once you enter, you're not allowed to leave or see anyone, not even your family. Unless you can get special permission and an escort by an overseer.
It sounds harsh.
Like the focuses we keep, diviners are few in number, and the Empire is, well, fearful that outsiders will try to steal our knowledge. Last time I was allowed to see my family was just before our voyage here. Because of my position, I was able to get them refuge from the floods within the capital. But if our crops don't recover soon, they'll starve to death along with everyone else.
I promise I'll do my best to make sure it doesn't come to that.
ओके आई थिंक सब कुछ पूछ लिया इससे तो
I
farewell
need to get going.
Alva.
But if you need anything,
All I need is to help you succeed in your mission. The plan
Got it.
Gaia told me about to capture Hephaestus, it will help set things right.
I hope so.
Then I will do whatever I can. I promise.
Good. चलो Alva से I think सब बातें हो गई. Now next comes Zoe.
Welcome back.
Good to be back. Have you met our new Quen guest yet?
I could barely keep up as she gave herself a tour of the base. Varl gave her a new focus. Though when he told her she was free to access all the data we had here, she turned so pale, I thought she'd faint on the spot. We showed her to the archive room so she could see for herself. She hasn't left the place since.
Sounds like Alba.
इसको इतना फ्रीडम नहीं मिलता रहेगा राइट. ये मिशन तो हो गया. वेट वापस ले सकते हैं व्हाट. नहीं ग्रेड आउट है तो हो गया रहेगा आई थिंक.
The Zeniths did a number on Beta. But she seems to trust Varl.
I still can't believe she told him the Zeniths are immortals. Old ones who cut themselves off from the cycle of life and decay. I've never heard of anything so selfish. To deny our dying bodies to the earth. To doom the life that would bloom in their place. It's despicable.
Well, immortality dangerous है. टेड फैरो ने देखा कितना डेंजरस है.
You've been
Companions?
getting to know Erend, I assume?
Of course. Any friend of Varl's is a friend of mine. In this case, a very loud friend.
I like Aaron. अच्छा है वो.
Are you guys training with Erend as well?
If you count trying to stick a spear in his gut as training, then yes.
Are you serious?
Of course not.
Good.
I was going for a couple of broken bones. He called the Utaru leaf grazers. Laughed at the idea of us simple farmers being formidable fighters. Before I knew it, he and I were battling it out in the common room. The man is slow, but he can throw a hammer around. Don't look so worried. We're evenly matched. For now. Next time he's going down like a load of boar dump.
Just try not to kill each other.
Injuring his pride should be good enough.
Is there anything I can help with around here?
Hmm? Oh, no. We're doing fine.
Are you okay?
You and Varl have been friends for a while.
I like to think so.
I was wondering, what do you know about his mother?
Oh,
That bad, huh?
why do you want to know?
He's spoken of his sister, Vala, but I noticed he avoids talking about his mother.
She's the war chief of the Nora. Best warrior the tribe's ever known. Tougher than a Thunderjaw, but she could be pretty harsh at times.
I see. That must have been hard on him. Thank you for telling me. I feel silly not being able to ask Varl directly.
I wouldn't worry about it. He's probably afraid Sona will scare you off someday.
I'd like to see her try.
सोना काफी स्कैरी है.
You ever play that board game Aaron set up?
Strike? I'm the one who gave it to him. I was hoping it'd distract him enough to spare us that ruckus he calls death metal. No such luck.
Oh, right. एरन को वो म्यूजिक टाइप पसंद आ गया था.
You and Varl doing okay? Training, I mean.
We're doing fine. Although I admit it'd be nice to take a small break from studying, just the two of us. But then who'd look after Erend?
Well, there's always Katalo.
Leave a loud Oseram with a brooding Tenakth. What could go wrong?
नहीं, आई थिंक कोटालो संभाल लेगा एरन को. कोटालो रीजनेबल है.
What's everyone been up to?
I've been trying to share some of my meals with Beta. Thought it might help her feel more at home. Maybe even get her to sleep up here instead of in that dark basement. She would not be moved.
I appreciate you trying.
Patience reaps the best harvest. I'm not giving up hope yet.
Good. Just give her time. I think in time बेटा भी like बाहर आने लगेगी वो बेसमेंट से.
How are things with everyone?
Slightly quieter. Aaron's been busy scouring data on his newest obsession. Apparently the old ones wrestled machines as some kind of performance. Called it metal versus meat. A must-see battle between steel and flesh, as Aaron likes to put it. You'd think we have enough of that going around as it is.
Okay, interesting. और अब इसके ट्रेनिंग के बारे में पूछना.
Found anything else combing through that data?
Varl and I have been looking into the animals of the old world. Apparently there used to be thousands more species roaming around than there are today. Can you imagine that? I'd give anything to see them, even as holograms. Though I know that without Artemis or Apollo that may prove difficult. At least I can find comfort in knowing Gaia used many of them as inspiration for her machines. Her memory honors them.
Oh yes, लेकिन हेफेस्टस ने सब मशीन्स को नहीं किया, राइट? डायनासोर्स को भी किया था, लेकिन वो तो एक्सटेंट थे तो. और
What are you going to
वापस
learn
ट्रेनिंग.
next?
I'm not sure. I asked Gaia for suggestions, and she brought up data you found on something called a museum? From what I gather, the old ones would store knowledge in them for all to see and learn from, like you've done here for us. Maybe one day more people will be able to use this place to learn the way we have.
That sounds crowded, but nice.
एक्चुअली अच्छा आइडिया ये. आई मीन फ्यू एट अ टाइम, बट फिर भी अच्छा आइडिया है. क्वेन से चालू कर सकता है. क्वेन को ऑलरेडी ग्राउंड नॉलेज है फोकस का और गाया और एंसेस्टर्स का, तो क्वेन नहीं, लेकिन क्वेन बहुत सेल्फिश भी है तो पता नहीं. एनीवे,
It
और
looks like
बात
you were
करता है.
working on something over there.
Just checking up on how well the land gods are doing now that they've healed. And to think some people thought I should have given up on them.
Already said I was sorry.
Your friend thought it'd be a good idea to replace the land gods with new machines when Gaia recovers.
It wasn't.
The land gods have taken care of our people for generations. They are not some broken toy to be thrown away. Even if they are just machines doing their job, to abandon them in their time of suffering seems cruel.
I'm sure Varl understands that too.
He does now. I had to get pretty mad at him at first, though.
You know I can hear you guys, right?
Read anything interesting lately?
I found out the old ones use leaf infusions like the Utaru do. Tea, they call it. Apparently it helped soothe them. That and some sort of scented wax they used to cleanse their aura. Plus something called bubble baths. Me, I think I'll stick to singing to calm the nerves.
Varl looks pretty focused.
He's been obsessing over the data revealed to us by Poseidon. Just the other day, we read about mountains hiding deep underwater that spew fire. If I understand correctly, Gaia said the flames they release come from the very center of the Earth. Like a heart, beating with the life of the world. As always, the cycle can be found in even the most unlikely of places. Of course, Varl's mostly interested in watching explosions happen underwater.
I assume you've been looking into Demeter now that Gaia's merged with it?
Yes. It's been humbling to know that the seeds I carry in this pouch came in turn from the seeds saved for Demeter in the old world. It gives me hope that the cycle of life will prevail now, just as it did before.
Okay. सब dialogues खत्म.
I need to get going.
Right. You've retrieved the Omega clearance. That means we'll be going after Hephaestus soon.
Oh
I'll make
yes.
sure my gear's ready.
उसका मेन क्वेस्ट है राइट, गाया से बात करनी है मेन क्वेस्ट के लिए. बट नॉट येट. आई थिंक कटालो से बात नहीं की हम लोग ने. यहाँ पे क्या है? पता नहीं कौन रह रहा है यहाँ पे. वेट 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 वेट, व्हाट्स दिस? ये क्या है? कटालो से ही बात करता है, कटालो से बात नहीं की.
It's like to dance.
Oh,
Well, they didn't have two left feet like I do.
I could teach you.
Don't tempt me.
Forge. Find an inn. Leave me alone.
oh, Aaron. Hello, Kotalo.
Aloy.
Oh, इसके नए आर्म के बारे में पूछ रहा है.
I bet people are curious about that new arm of yours.
None more than our Quen ally, I assure you. She couldn't wait to take it apart and figure out how it works. I gave her the data I used to build the thing, hoping that would satisfy her curiosity instead.
Good luck with that. Does it still hurt?
It comes and goes. I try not to think about it, but its absence is always present for me. It's difficult to explain.
I can't claim to understand. Only empathize.
Then you have my thanks.
Good choice of words, Aloy. Good choice of words.
Have you spoken with Erend at all?
I've had little chance to. I did see him bring some ale from out east.
That stuff's as bitter as self-brush.
You get used to it, eventually. In fact, I wouldn't mind a drink myself.
I'm sure Erend wouldn't mind sharing.
कटालो मेरे को बहुत पसंद आने लगा अब. इनिशियली मेरे को बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं था, रूड था. लेकिन जो स्काई क्लैन वाला क्वेस्ट है, आई थिंक बॉलवर्क, वो क्वेस्ट के बाद मस्त लग रहा है अब कटालो.
What have you been up to?
Varl has asked to learn the differences between my people's clans, so I've been teaching him Tenakth history. It is heavy with blood and death, but also with honorable deeds and vanquished tyrants. Maybe you'd like to hear about it as well, when our mission is done.
I'd be honored. What do Tenakth do to relax? You know, to take a break from training?
We play strike. Your Oseram friend, Erend, is surprisingly good at it, although he has yet to beat me. It helps one think strategically. Hones the mind for tactics.
Somehow that still sounds like training. Have you spoken with Alva?
The Quen is peculiar. Nothing like a Tenakth. Her mind is sharp, that much is certain. But it's hard to imagine her surviving in the wilds.
Trust me, she's tougher than she looks.
I will take your word for it.
Oh yes, एल्वा ने भी फाइट किया था हम लोग के साथ मशीन्स के अगेंस्ट.
Must be strange, seeing everything through a focus now.
I can see machines like never before. Their strengths and weaknesses simply reveal themselves to me. To think that such a tiny object might be the most powerful weapon I've ever possessed.
What do you think of this place? It must take some getting used to.
It's an efficient center of operations, and an acceptable training facility. Though it could use some more color.
Duly noted. Anything interesting happen while I was away?
I found an acceptable place to practice with my blade.
Oh, and where's that?
Outside, above the base. There's a nest of sunwings that are always up for a fight.
Ever
Oh
thought of
right.
sparring with something that's not trying to kill you?
That would defeat the purpose of the training.
Makes sense, लेकिन you're training for a fight, not fighting.
Found anything interesting?
So
during
training
training?
safe होना चाहिए, right?
Gaia told me
Fighting
where to
से.
find data on how wars were waged in the old world. I knew the Ten fought against machines, much as we do now, but it seems they were among the last of their kind. Later, machines battled other machines on behalf of greedy leaders, as they vied for lands and spoils. At least the Tenakth have the courage to put their lives on the line when conflicts arise.
There is nobility in that. But maybe we just need fewer conflicts in the first place.
Yes, of course. Hekarro would have it so as well.
How are your studies going?
I wanted to learn more about the world of the Old Ones.
And?
I looked up this pharaoh Gaia said you went looking for, and learned about the plague of machines he unleashed. To think that the ancient world was wiped out by a mistake. A single miscalculation. There is no glory or honor in such a fate. Only hubris and pointless death.
That about sums it up. Anything else you've been looking at with that focus?
Gaia showed me the knowledge you recovered out in the desert. I am no chaplain, but I'd be curious to test if something I read is true.
What is it?
The Old Ones believed one could hear the great waters, even in the middle of the desert, if you carried the carcass of a water animal with you. They called them seashells.
That sounds kind of gross.
Oh right. Seashells के अंदर ocean की आवाज आती है. I wonder if that's true. मैंने भी कभी टच नहीं किया वो.
I should go.
I'll be ready when you call.
Good. I think वाल और एरंड बचा है और बेटा. लेकिन एक बेटा यहाँ पे क्या मैं ही पागल हो रहा हूँ या फिर बेटा का डोर लॉक्ड है? यही है बेटा का डोर, राइट? कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. अरे फिर आई थिंक इस पार्ट के लिए इतना ही काफ़ी है. हम लोग वाल एरंड और जो से हो गया. वाल एरंड और बेटा से नेक्स्ट पार्ट में बात करेंगे. तो मिलते हैं अगले पार्ट में. तब तक के लिए टेक केयर.